A harrowing near-death experience is described by Tamar Braxton. On August 19th, the singer revealed on Instagram that she had just been in a terrifying accident. Let Tamar Braxton tell us that after spending a night out with Harris, who also happens to be Yandy Smith's husband, or soon-to-be ex-husband, of Love and Hip Hop DC, she was discovered bleeding, battered, and hardly awake. Everything descended into one of the most chaotic controversies of the year, when police had to be summoned. The internet was ablaze as the news surfaced. Like a live soap drama, blogs, fans, and everyone else online began to piece the plot together. Additionally, the information that kept coming out made it even more difficult to think that this actually happened, because what transpired was a series of events that included police intervening on social media to rip it apart: Tamar's health problem, a marriage under scrutiny, and cheating suspicions. Split apart in real time, people were already claiming that Yandy had gone beyond being a reality TV star to becoming a real-life celebrity by the time the dust settled. And it played out this way. And it's easy to understand why, given how things transpired. Let's go back a bit to the night itself then, because things start to become rather hazy and disorganized at this point. In Atlanta, it was just another late night. The music is blaring, the B12 lounge is full, popping bottles. Additionally, Tamar Braxton and DC's Harris were far too at ease with one another among all of that mayhem. This wasn't only a casual situation. Networking inside the sector, several witnesses claimed that they were confined throughout the night, speaking, leaning in, and laughing as though they were in their own little universe. The club. You guys are too old to be in the club, aren't you? Anyway, here's the really bad part. They weren't merely being observed by others. Collectively, they observed the nonverbal cues. According to one guy, Tamar was truly dependent on him, and Mendeecees had no intention of retreating. Definitely pulling a publicity stunt, because you all knew they were observing you. However, you are aware of Atlanta's situation. Nothing remains secret for very long. There's always someone recording. The blogs are always run by someone. And that's precisely what took place here. When 1 a.m. arrived, Tamar and Mendeecees are said to have dipped out together. Additionally, it wasn't on some "we were simply departing at the same time," etc. According to witnesses, he was directly behind her as they left together. However, Funky Dava, who's close Tamar's associates, took over and drove her home. However, the fact that Mendeecees is following them in his car is the detail that has everyone clenching their teeth. Now, ponder that for a moment. Dava and Tamar in the same vehicle. Men follow closely after, like a shadow. It's not merely a coincidental event that takes work. That's deliberate. Additionally, after they arrived at Tamar's location, things didn't stop there. A curb, Dava himself claims that Vitamus and Tamar are inside for an after-party. Not only him, but also a few of his buddies. The timeline starts there, becomes creepy and foggy. A few hours after that small get-together, Tamar found herself in what she called one of the most terrifying situations of her life. She was discovered in a pool of blood, without teeth, and nearly dead from severe beatings. According to Tamar's official account, she blamed it on a terrible accident. However, when the streets don't perceive it that way, so align it with what happened. That evening, all eyes turned to Yandy as soon as they saw a setup and revenge. But for a millisecond, let's be honest. The marriage Yandy has been clinging to, and he's been through every storm with Mendeecees. Rumors of cheating, jail time, dubious direct messages, etc. She has even retaliated against those who suggested between her and her partner. Therefore, many people don't find it implausible that she pulled up if she indeed discovered Tamar was having an affair with him that evening. Not everyone is merely silently speculating. Online, fans are assembling. The puzzle's allowed. It was summed up in one comment. Tamar was beaten by Yandy because she was sharing a bed with him. The police were supposedly contacted at one point, and that information has been circulating widely ever since. The neighborhood heard the sirens. Neighbors are talking about what actually happened inside Tamar's house as lights flare. However, the reports have been quite ambiguous, as if someone is attempting to hide this information. Here's an additional layer though. Tamar had recently begun releasing new songs. She had not yet planned to release any images, but suddenly the trailer for her project appeared. Mendeecees appeared online ahead of schedule. People noted that it wasn't a random release. It appeared to be damage control, as if Tamar and her group were attempting to divert attention from the streets before the rumors about her blew out. However, one fan quickly realized that as a cover-up, Tamar essentially casts him in a video, which was released earlier than anticipated because people saw her and many queue up in the club. My dear child, it's absolutely hell on earth in Atlanta. However, when you put the entire timeline together, it doesn't appear disorganized. Waiting for the new twin to emerge sounds like something from a soap opera. The genuine lives of people are at stake this time though. The fact that Tamar's injuries are still in this hazy area only makes it more bizarre. Some people thought it was merely a regrettable accident. It seems like others, this is where Yandy enters the picture. Publicly defending her marriage is nothing new for Yandy. For years, she has been riding with Mendeecees. Through his incarceration, allegations of infidelity, and all the unsavory press that followed, Yandy has demonstrated herself as the ride-or-die wife who won't allow anyone to split up her family. No matter what people throw at her, Yandy not even took the blame for her partner on Love and Hip Hop, saying that she sent direct messages from his account when fans knew it was actually him. "I don't DM, I see. I sent her a direct message. I was that person. Clean your tears, my dear." Her co-stars even confronted her about lying, and that action demonstrated her willingness to go to great lengths to safeguard Mendeecees, and why others think she might have pulled up on Tamar, right? Away, interview 5.
That I heard from my niece, I know that Yandy was not the one that was DMing her. Yandy's husband was. She's clearly lying to my face, and I'm not calling her out about it because I don't feel that.
Don't be fooled by the gray eyes. This scene demonstrates to fans how fiercely protective Yandy is of her marriage, going so far as to fabricate tales or conceal facts in order to preserve it. Therefore, it didn't take long for people to suspect Yandy when it was reported that Tamar had been spotted cuddling up with men. Pulled up on her because Yandy doesn't just sit back, as experience has shown. It was made further complicated by the time Mendeecees and Yandy were showcasing their birthday love on social media only a few days prior to everything going viral. Additionally, he wasn't merely thanking his family as usual. He was giving it all he had out here. Cheers to your birthday. Whoa. After 10 years of marriage and 20 years of getting to know you, we have built a fantastic life together, raising our amazing kids and overcoming obstacles in life. Our connection has just gotten stronger. You are my foundation, my companion, and my closest friend, Mendeecees wrote. My biggest accomplishment, my prize, and someone I want to make proud is you. Every day you make my life happier. In the most difficult together, we have learned, grown, and supported one another over the years. These 2 decades of marriage, friendship, and cooperation. I can't imagine my existence without you, because you are everything to me. I cherish you. To Yandy. Happy birthday. He even made a toast after his birthday dinner, telling Yandy that he loved her and that she was his inspiration. A video from Yandy's private birthday meal went viral online, as if the Instagram post wasn't enough evidence of how much he loves her within it. Mendeecees got up holding a glass and referred to her as his everything while staring directly into her eyes. He commended Yandy for being more than just his wife, saying that she is an inspiration to both males and Black women who admire her power and self-presentation. All I desire is to express gratitude for being such a wonderful woman. Thank you. I cherish you. Her friends and family cheered as he said it, and then leaned in to kiss her. And this was a very emotional, raw, and public moment. The fact that their bond was unassailable was almost like a stamp. Imagine yourself in Yandy's position, just after a public display of affection with your spouse, and then hearing rumors that Tamar, another well-known figure in the field, was seen hugging him in a club and even taking him home. It was easy to imagine that Yandy, who has always been outspoken about defending her marriage and making it plain that no one should push her limits, would lose it after this. Let's be honest, Atlanta is awesome. It's quite tiny. Thus, word gets around really quickly. Therefore, it would be reasonable to assume that the Yandy learned of the issue before Tamar arrived at her house. The fact that Tamar's accident occurred just hours after the celebration struck a deep chord because of this. It didn't seem random to fans. It seemed as if Yandy had made contact. The fact that it wasn't simply terrible luck was what persuaded them the most. It was the appearance and failure of the personal attack. The attack's apparent personal nature was what persuaded folks that this wasn't simply poor luck. Mendeecees got away unharmed, but Tamar received the blow. That seemed too neat to the gossip throng. It was almost as if someone, not him, wanted her to pay. They also mentioned Tamar's past, because, let's face it, she has experienced industry feuds before. The list is lengthy and includes Kandi Burruss and her sister Toni. However, those altercations were typically all shade and talk, because you are aware of Tamar's tendency to yelp, flap her gums, and snap her neck. But this time, the stakes were much higher. This accident occurred at the exact moment there were rumors that she was connected to someone else's man, and that Yandy, who is notorious for defending her home at all costs, was just that person's woman. Now, when word got out that Funky Dinah wasn't keeping quiet, things definitely took a turn for the worse. And when he didn't hold back when speaking. Yandy called Tamar out for going too far with Mendeecees, and Diva was seen flat out. He went in after jumping on Instagram. Here it is. I had a great time throughout the weekend of my birthday. Additionally, Tamar's advertisement was flawless the entire time. She just finished releasing this shabby music video for this unappealing EP that no one wants. Additionally, because I appear in the video, people will assume that I was involved in the publicity hoax. I was collateral damage in a 2-bit public relations ploy. You aren't even going to try to clear any of this up and tell these people I didn't do anything, Funky said, directly tagging Tamar. But he didn't stop there. You know, I was accused of not being your buddy, but in reality, it was you who didn't want to be my friend. I'm really hurt, and I didn't deserve any of this. After that, Funky went live and attacked fans, bloggers, and all internet detectives who believed they had the whole story figured out. He made it plain that he was lounging in his Miami bed while everyone else was making assumptions, totally disconnected. He clarified that Tamar essentially ignored him when he attempted to speak with her directly about her injury. She would send him texts about unrelated topics, but he never received any response to the actual subject of what transpired that evening. She gave him dust as payment, and as a result, he felt like a complete byproduct of this drama. It was clear from Funky's outburst that he didn't believe Tamar's accident narrative. He didn't have the enthusiasm of a worried buddy calling to check in. It arrived off more like he felt duped and pulled along, even if he wasn't involved. Tamar wasn't going to sit there and let that thing happen. While still coping with the fallout from her accident, she jumped on her Instagram story and named Funky in an attempt to correct the record. She expressed that while she still loves Funky, she wishes she had spoken up about what happened in the hospital sooner. Her point, her quiet became misconstrued, and her true desire was tranquility. She made it apparent in her subsequent posts that she had no intention of returning to her previous drama. She concentrated on getting better, healing, and simply doing what she did. She then directly addressed the rumors of this PR stunt. She stated unequivocally that she did not fabricate her injury or take any action to gain influence. However, she did give Mendeecees a tiny nod, indicating that she was talking about herself and not anyone's husband. Personal heartache and enduring a nightmare that shouldn't have happened. After a while, Funky said that was all he wanted and reposted Tamar's tag. He referred to it as a matter of principle, and he is now fine. He wished her a speedy recovery and success with her new endeavor. However, here's the thing. The major drama remains even after Funky Geneva's comeback. There were still rumors that Yandy had jumped Tamar. Despite Tamar's efforts to clarify the timeline, and the rumors still give the impression that Yandy might have started the altercation and that the police had to intervene. The heat from that night isn't going away. Even if Tamar is demonstrating that she is staying cool and concentrating on getting better, it's disorganized. It's true. That's precisely the reason why the narrative continues to captivate everyone. Attempting to ascertain the true nature of the conflict between Mendeecees and Yandy Tamar. Now, as Yandy is standing her position, Tamar is offering her perspective, and Funky Diva is adding his thoughts, which further agitated the situation. It's understandable why this entire situation became one of the messiest dramas we've seen in a long time, given the amount of stress involved. And everyone continues to try to put it all together. However, the day comes to an end at the conclusion of the day. Furthermore, this isn't simply another tumultuous hip-hop and romance feud. It serves as a reminder of how reality TV drama continues to permeate everyday life, transforming friendships, jobs, and marriages into open battlefields. We've witnessed it previously, from romance and hip-hop altercations to actual housewife scandals, where allegations of infidelity and damaged egos leak off of the screen and into the real world. Additionally, this Tamar Yandy story demonstrates once more how hazy the distinction between entertainment and the actual world, because these effects don't happen when the cameras stop rolling. Please leave a remark below with your opinions. Watch the following video and hit the subscribe button.